doesn't make any sense.
No, of course not.
The bone structure is so different, and people that deny that are crazy.
I know. That is silly, man.
She's not good. No, she's not good.
She's not a good fighter.
No, she's just strong.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing, you don't look at her and think like, oh, she fights like Chris Cyborg, or she's not that unbelievably talented.
Right.
She's just physically way
Super
different.
Of course, different, but what woman do you know who, content creator, YouTuber, singer, whatever, who's like, I want to get in the ring and fight her?
Joe Rogan lost his cool after Claressa Shields challenged Rolando Romero, stressing that men and women are built differently, and that's why sports remain separated.
Like that, to say that like you can't bring that up, that's offensive, is ridiculous to me.
Well, especially when it comes to fighting.
Yeah, man.
That was the big one. And that was where I really understood like how bizarre and how
defensive
cult,
for that?
Yeah, how cult-like this ideology is.
I'd like to see you transition to a woman and fight women.
It'd be a lot of fun.
To have what, 12 murder charges? That would be.
And yet, here we are together, about to unpack the most unhinged, most debated, most did they really just say that out loud moment in combat sports in years, and it all starts with one name.
Thurman is not that great of a boxer. Is he strong?
Yes.
Yes. But what else? I'm a woman, but I'm bigger. I'm longer. I got better skill.
Claressa Shields, 3-time Olympic medalist, undisputed champion across multiple weight classes, a woman who has looked every single doubter in the eye and turned them into a highlight reel, a woman who puts herself in the same sentence as Muhammad Ali and Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Hitting people, right? Claressa has been out here saying she could beat you in a fight. Now, I know you say you don't hit women. But I mean, you can start with her. Maybe. I don't know.
Nice.
She'll beat you. She'll beat you?
Yeah, it's let it be.
She's got skill. She's the quad, right?
Yeah, skill, pay the bill, she has good blow, yada, 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 all that stuff. She'll beat you.
She'll beat you? If you were to fight, what weight would you fight her at? Every weight? Okay.
Without blinking, without flinching, without a single ounce of hesitation. And honestly, that confidence alone broke the internet. But wait, because that's not even close to where this story gets interesting, because Claressa Shields didn't just claim greatness. Oh no, she allegedly called out a male boxer, Romero. And the moment those words hit the timeline, reportedly, the entire combat sports world collectively dropped their phones and said, "She said what?" And before you assume this is just clout chasing, just hear me out.
Me personally, that I am one of the best boxers in the world, male or female. I think it's Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, me. That's it. But you know what? I will say that I think that I'm so good that I'm hard on myself because I should be knocking these girls out. If I can go in there and win unanimous decisions, I'm always asking myself after the fight, why didn't you get the knockout? How come didn't the knockout come? So for me, that's what I'm working on. So I got all the skills and the power and everything. I just have to figure it out and put it all together. And I've been fighting some of the toughest competition ever since I've been pro.
She often points to her undisputed titles and Olympic gold medals as proof, arguing her achievements make her one of the best fighters in boxing history.
I'm 3-time undisputed champ. 2 times at 160 means everything to me. People always say, Claressa, you're the self-proclaimed GOAT. No, I'm not. I can be any female boxer you put in front of me. Rather she's a big puncher, faster, slicker, taller, whatever you want to say. I can adapt and I can win and I can bite down when it gets hard against anybody. So I am the greatest woman of all time. And if nobody believed me when I said it back then, they gotta believe me now because Savannah Marshall hits like.
Because Shields actually constructed a case. She allegedly pointed out that Romero, for all his knockout power, reportedly relies heavily on that power rather than technical precision. And Shields, a woman who has built her entire legacy on BoxingHQ footwork, counterpunching, and ring generalship, allegedly believed that her technique, her size within the women's division, and her cerebral approach to the sport could be enough to bridge a gap that, according to most combat sports analysts, allegedly shouldn't even be bridgeable. And
me personally, that I am one of the best boxers in the world, male or female. I think it's Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, me. That's it. But you know what? I will say that think that I'm so good that I'm hard on myself because I should be knocking these girls out. If I can go in there and win unanimous decisions, I'm always asking myself after the fight, why didn't you get the knockout? How come didn't the knockout come? So for me, that's what I'm working on. So I got all the skills and the power and everything. I just have to figure it out and put it all together. And I've been fighting some of the toughest competition ever since I've been.
This is where Joe Rogan enters the chat. And when Joe Rogan enters the chat, you know things are about to get loud. Because Rogan allegedly came in hard on this one, reportedly calling the entire debate unreasonable, arguing that bone structure alone, changes the entire conversation, that biological differences in muscle density, skeletal frame, and raw punching mechanics make male versus female matchups in combat sports.
Pro.
She often points to her undisputed titles and Olympic gold medals as proof, arguing her achievements make her one of the best fighters in boxing history.
I'm 3-time undisputed champ. 2 times at 116 means everything to me. People always say, Claressa, you're the self-proclaimed GOAT. No, I'm not. I can be any female boxer you put in front of me. Rather she's a big puncher, faster, slicker, taller, whatever you want to say. I can adapt and I can win and I can bite down when it gets hard against anybody. So I am the greatest woman of all time. And if nobody believed me when I said it back then, they gotta believe me now because Savannah Marshall hits like.
Something that skills simply cannot fully compensate for, and you could feel the frustration in his words reportedly. Like a man watching someone argue that a bicycle could win a drag race against a sports car if the cyclist was just technical enough. And look,
Get your hand up. Hand your right back. Jab. A little bit. Jab. Go your jab. Pull that. Jab. Quick. Jab.
Rogan has never been shy about his opinions in combat sports. That's literally his brand. But allegedly, even he had to pause and acknowledge Shields' greatness before delivering his conclusion, because here's the thing about Claressa Shields that even her harshest critics cannot deny. This woman has done things in boxing that no human being, male or female, has done at her pace, with her consistency.
Shakur Stevenson, he's not a heavy-handed guy, and he's a smaller guy. Yeah, she could probably beat Shakur Stevenson. I doubt that, but it would be competitive. How about that? That's the best I can give you. It would be competitive, but I would still have Shakur Stevenson wiping the floor.
He was like a little Russian hater. He took the patent out of his gloves. I had whooped ass on a Monday, and his coach wanted to spar again on Thursday. But he caught me, but he didn't have no patent in his gloves. He know exactly who he is.
Damn. Romero said that Claressa Shields once thanked him after he knocked out the same fighter who had dropped her in sparring. Romero explained that he stopped the boxer in his 11th professional fight.
You know, probably should call out Michaela, she could call out Katie Taylor, like, why is she calling out Rolly?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know, but she also knows it's never gonna happen. Aside from that, too, she thanked me because I knocked out the dude that had knocked her out in sparring. I knocked him out in my 11th fight. And then I brought up the story of when I first met her, and she got defensive.
Has she ever tried to apologize over the first meeting or explain?
She never apologized for it specifically, but I got so much. I'm a very forgiving person. I've already forgiven her.
With her level of competition, undisputed titles, Olympic gold at 16, another Olympic gold, a professional record that reads like a video game cheat code. And so when Rogan says skill might not be enough, he's not dismissing Shields. He's allegedly making a broader biological argument that even the greatest skill set on the planet has a ceiling when physics enters the conversation. But then, and here's your first plot twist, buckle up.
Watch that video, you see her take a really hard shot, go down. Obviously, you're a boxer, you're a fighter, that's what you do. You take shots, you give shots, but from a man to a woman, I think that's where people feel a little...
So this is what I think.
Please, yeah.
These two both agree to spar each other, so that's one thing. Both parties agree. Clarissa's sparring a man at the end of the day. As much as she talks about, I want to fight a man, I'm going to beat a man up, you still have to respect the man and his man's power, period. I don't care. And because you are in the ring with a man, and they may be a little better than you, it just looked like Claressa got caught and got dropped. That's it. And I don't think there was any vicious intent behind it. These two were just sparring. Claressa got caught. She got back up. And again, Claressa's going to feel some type of way and say, hey, them gloves, the padding was out of them. Maybe she was embarrassed, and maybe that's why she said what she said. But
Romero allegedly responded, and reportedly, he did not come in measured or diplomatic. Oh no. Romero allegedly said he could fight Shields at any weight class. Any, and still win, citing strength and punching power as factors that, in his view, reportedly transcend weight class adjustments entirely, which is either the most confident thing ever said in boxing or the most fascinating bit of sports trash talk in recent memory, depending entirely on which side of this debate you're sitting on. And here is where the story quietly shifts, because the sparring history starts leaking out. And allegedly, there are reports, online discussions, commentary from people within the fight community suggesting that Shields has previously sparred with male fighters, which in itself is not unusual for elite female boxers trying to find competitive rounds. But, and this is the part that reportedly set certain corners of the internet absolutely on fire, there are claims that she was allegedly dropped during some of those sessions, and normally that might just be a footnote, except Shields...
that, you know, she's made it to the point that she's made it to. That is remarkable. That is very, very respectful. I think every fighter in the world, whether you're a man, woman, whatever, you should respect the things that she's done.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it. And it's one of those things that, you know, things are easier said than done.
So that brings me to my next question, because I asked her, I was like, look, I go, there's an obvious power and strength differential. Like she is dominant, you know, in the women's division, but the strength and the power between the top women and the top men is a big deal. She said she's not worried about the strength and power because she said it's about movement, it's about setting traps, it's about sticking and moving, all that stuff. Does she have a point there?
Yeah, she definitely has a point there. Styles make fights. That's a common saying in boxing, and it's 100% true. But along with that, she has the thing that I don't think realizes is that, you know, whatever top boxer she's been in the ring with, I'm sure that top boxer was, you know, took his foot off the gas pedal. And any fighter that isn't at that level is really...
She herself allegedly addressed this directly, reportedly claiming that the conditions were not fair, that there were allegedly issues with equipment. Tampered gloves being the specific claim floating around online, and now suddenly what seemed like a straightforward sparring anecdote has allegedly turned into a controversy with competing narratives, competing timelines, and a comment section that reportedly cannot agree on a single thing. And breaking, because we have to interrupt this for a second, because Alicia Baum...
on her level.
Right.
And so, you know, and here's the thing. You put Claressa Shields in the ring with a fighter at her weight class, at her same level, and she's going to be outmatched. From the physical standpoint, I think that is an animal that she's not really prepared for. I think that there are fighters that she could beat, but no one at her level...
ever consider doing like a 3-round exhibition with the Claressa Shields, or is that something you would never even consider?
I honestly wouldn't consider that. I don't think that I don't have anything to prove. I think if she's got something to prove, she's got something else to prove against someone else. And let me reel it all the way back in. Again, and say it again. I have tons of respect for her and the things that she's done. But speaking for myself, I know that when you get in the ring with me, there's a lot more that you have to prepare for than what your eyes see, and what in a lot of ways what your mind could imagine. And that's just one of those things that is you have to be there you have to actually live it out in order to really understand that, and that's not something that I intend to.
Gardner, herself one of the elite names in women's boxing, allegedly weighed in on this entire situation. And reportedly, Baumgardner did not mince words, speaking plainly about the biological power gap between male and female athletes, emphasizing that strength differences aren't a matter of opinion or perspective. They're reportedly a matter of measurable, documented physical reality.
Incredible things. Like, for people that don't know, you won the Olympic gold medalist at 17, and then you won it again 4 years later.
Yep, 2-time.
The only American boxer ever.
Yes.
I think, like, only another sport, like, no boxer's ever done that, right? In America.
No, not from America, just me.
And, I mean, you've gone multiple weight classes, and now you're considering fighting in MMA. I mean, you kind of cleared out boxing in a lot of ways.
It's always something more to be accomplished in boxing, but I'm venturing off into MMA because I really want to see, am I as great as I think I am? And I think I am. So I'm excited to be fighting with the PFL later on this year and just taking it from there.
Which, interestingly, puts one elite female boxer on the opposite side of the argument from another elite female boxer. And that right there is a story within the story, because if women within the sport itself are allegedly divided on this question, then the conversation is clearly far more nuanced than a simple yes or no. And then Shawn Porter, a former welterweight world champion who has been inside the ring with some of the most dangerous men on the planet at his weight class, reportedly stepped into this conversation with what can only be described as respectful, but
when this is as good as you are at boxing, you could basically do anything you want in life. You just have to put the same amount of focus that you put on boxing to whatever it is that you apply yourself to.
Yeah.
It's rare human beings that can do what you've been able to do. It's a rare person.
5 P's. Proper
P's?
preparation prevents poor performance.
There you go.
So in MMA, I'm not coming over like, hey, I'm in boxing, I'm box all you girls up. It's like, I'm at Jackson Wing Gym, with Coach Jackson.
I've seen you kick the bag. I've seen you throw kicks. I was very impressed. I can't believe you're already that good. It's real. I was like, well, maybe you were throwing high kicks.
Yeah. I didn't know my leg can go up that high, so they showed me the technique up, and I was like, whoa, this shit.
Firm skepticism, allegedly saying he honors everything Shields has built, respects her achievements completely, but maintains that competing with elite male boxers at a professional level involves physical and competitive differences that go beyond what most people fully appreciate from the outside. And Porter's credibility here is allegedly significant because he's not speaking theoretically. He's speaking from lived experience inside professional boxing at the highest level. And now, here comes the twist that reframes everything. Because critics allegedly started pointing to something quietly devastating in this debate. They reportedly noted that if Shields, for all her brilliance and dominance...
Listen, there's another... You're the GOAT, and we're talking about the GOAT right now, Mayweather. He's taking all these exhibition fights. Is this a bad look for the legacy? What do you think about all that?
I love Floyd Mayweather, and I want him to stay retired because they always saying, oh, everyone has his day, and they was like, well, that hasn't had his day, and he gives me the confidence to me not ever have my day to go undefeated and retire when I want to. So, seeing him come back, I'm like, I'm kind of like 50-50 with it because I support him no matter what. But I just want him to just stay retired, stay Money Mayweather, just stay perfect. You know what I mean?
Pacquiao, Tyson, is it exciting at least? Are you checking checking on
them? About Mayweather fights, he bring the crowds out. So I mean, it's all exciting, but I just want him.
Does not consistently finish female opponents by knockout, then the power gap between her and a male boxer who does KO opponents becomes a mathematical problem that technique alone allegedly cannot fully solve. And that argument, whether you agree with it or not, reportedly landed in sports circles with a thud that echoed. Because it's not an attack on Shields' skill, it's allegedly a question about the physics of force. And yet here is your final twist, the one that allegedly changes the entire frame of the story. Because when you step all the way back and look at what Claressa Shields actually accomplished by even igniting this conversation, she did something that allegedly no female boxer in history has been able to do quite like this.
Listen, I gotta ask you this. The GOAT versus the GOAT. He's taking these exhibition fights. Would you ever do an exhibition fight? And
fight who?
The GOAT. I mean, the two, you and Floyd. I mean, you got.
Me, I would love to learn from Floyd, but I would never get inside the ring and actually like have a fight against him. Like that's my dog. Like I love him. I respect him. And that's not something I'm interested in.
Right.
And also too, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it, which is fine with me because I don't think that we should do that. For what? He's the GOAT. I'm the GOAT, and I am the Team Mayweather fan. He calls me the female TBE, the best ever. So I'm the female TBE.
So that's
TBE.
You just wouldn't do it because on GP.
That's not something I ever even thought about. Like my respect. Like when I spar him, I'll spar any man. Like him, Terrence, Core, Rolly, whoever. I'll spar against any man. I spar men on a day-to-day basis during my fight. But like an actual exhibition fight, like that don't even make sense. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
She forced the entire combat sports world, from Joe Rogan's podcast to former champions, to fellow female athletes to casual fans who haven't watched a boxing match in years, to sit down, pay attention, and argue passionately about women's boxing in a way that trended, reportedly, across multiple platforms simultaneously, and whether the matchup ever happens, whether it should ever happen, whether it's realistic or unrealistic, the conversation itself is allegedly the victory because Claressa Shields, the girl from Flint, Michigan, who reportedly had to...
When that Thesna went on, I see people talking about what I said that I would beat Rolly in a fight. I ain't say I'd knock him out. I said I'd beat him in a boxing match, right? People getting their panties or their drawers in a knot. Calm down. Calm down. My confidence is for me. That's what I have for me. It's not to offend you. Don't get offended by me believing in me. I'm not gonna get offended by you believing in you.
The fight for every single opportunity, every single platform, every single dollar of recognition that male counterparts received as a baseline, is now allegedly the most talked about boxer on the planet regardless of gender. And Joe Rogan himself, the man who called the debate unreasonable, reportedly ended his commentary by calling her great. By acknowledging her impact, by essentially admitting that love her argument or hate it, Claressa Shields commands the room. So here's the question I need you to answer in the comments right now. Is Claressa Shields the greatest self-promoter in the history of boxing? Or did she just accidentally reveal something about the sport that nobody was ready to confront out loud?